You have Station Sitka. Visual. Roger. Fastest going inside cabin.
It all started on June 10th. We were getting ready to head offshore with the Kupreanof.
Helicopter, we're arriving on scene now.
Well, about midnight it started blowing real hard and got real rough. Things were happening real quick. I made the choice to call the Coast Guard and put out a Mayday call.
So we got the call about 3:30.
I headed out to the aircraft. Commander Stokler headed upstairs to get more amplifying information.
The report was 4 people in Gumby suits and a life raft.
We took off out of Sitka. It was about 100 miles offshore and didn't have the best weather on the way out there. Visibility was pretty poor, so we weren't sure what to expect.
There was one point there when I walked around to my crew, I had to look at each one and say, we're going to be okay, or we're going to be, I didn't know that.
Starboard side. Roger. Forward right 10. Forward right 5.
As soon as we got on scene, the boat's stern deck was awash.
And it was immediately apparent that it was time for the individuals on board to get off the vessel. The lower portion of the vessel, the stern was underwater, and the bow was sticking up, and it was listing heavily to the left side. The captain had asked if we wanted to retrieve his crew and himself from the vessel.
And I think it'd be easier if you can get to your life raft to get into that, but otherwise we'll probably end up putting our swimmer down into the water to pick you guys up.
They decided it was going to be an in-the-water rescue. We needed to get away from that boat as soon as possible.
I've got one man that's pretty old and can't swim.
Roger that, copy that, Captain.
First guy slowly made his way back and he was able to jump right into the boat.
15. Looks like one guy just went over on the starboard side. Roger. And he looks like he made it in.
And then the other 3, they jumped into the water and then slowly made their way to the life raft. And during that time, we instructed our rescue swimmer to dress out and get ready to head into the water.
First going down.
The decision to put me out the door is not one that's lost its effect yet. I'd say everything starts speeding up for me inside, and it becomes also a little bit of all right, trying to slow things down to make sure that you're still thinking calmly, still thinking coolly, and going to be able to be effective when I get in the water. The second I got in the water, after the long flight as well, I was immediately fighting the urge to be seasick. You get seasick even being in the water.
Yeah, they need to get away from that boat. He's briefing them up on what's going to happen, I think.
During that time, we got a little bit too close to the life raft and we ended up pushing the life raft up on top of the deck. So the swimmer, on his way back up to the raft, had to swim onto the boat, pull the raft off. And then for the remainder of the 3 hoists, we stood off of the boat and the life raft pretty far. So the swimmer had to swim pretty far to get to the life raft to pull the remaining 3 people off.
Passengers inside cabin.
As the swimmer was talking to the captain, I glanced up and noticed that the vessel was starting to go under quite rapidly.
That raft is still connected and has me concerned, but unless he comes up his radio.
The pilot and I realized that the life raft was tethered to the vessel. We were pretty concerned at that point that it was going to go down and take the captain with him. But there was no way we could talk to the swimmer at that point. It was just too loud.
I thought we had a lot more time than we did as far as the vessel sinking. But after I placed the 3rd survivor in the basket and turned around, at that point had hit me that the raft is still tied off. This might become a problem real quick if we don't get this guy out of here.
Fortunately, he got the captain out in time, and as I was bringing him up, the vessel completely submerged and took the life raft under with it.
Fastest going inside cabin. Basket's inside cabin.
It's a quiet ride on the way back usually. The survivors have just been through a whole lot.
Get him out of the basket.
Coast Guard showed up just in time. Once we were in their hands, they did the drill and we were saved.
Fortunately, this type of rescue is something we practice all the time.
We're very fortunate that things went as smoothly as they did, and preparation is key.
The Coast Guard, and Air Station Sitka especially, one of its many missions, many important missions, was the reason that I joined, was what I wanted to be a part of.
You know, how do you thank people for saving your life, you know? I've thought about that every day since the accident. Thank you doesn't always seem right. You know, it doesn't sound like quite enough.
I love my job. It's just you never know what you're going to get when you show up to work in the morning. I like that sense of mystery, kind of uncertainty with what the day holds.